Hello and welcome back to Analog Comics. It's been a while, but I've been busy. I visited the Angoulême International Comic Book Festival again, just like I did last year. This year I had 2 days to spend there, 2 full days. So it's one more day than compared to last year. And it also meant double amount of comics that I bought, but it also meant that it was actually double amount of fun. And even last year was absolutely awesome. This is already the best comic book experience that I will have this year. I don't think that there'll be anything that can beat this. If I'm wrong, wow. What I've decided to do is that I'll just treat this as a comic haul. So I'll just go through the books very superficially. And I haven't read them. Well, I have read 2 of them, but most of them are unread. So I don't have anything deep to say about them, but I will show you what kind of books they are. I'll show you the art. I think you'll like this one. So I've decided to split this comic haul into 2 parts. I brought home 19.9 kilos of comics. Luckily, I had a scale in my hotel room so I could balance all the bags. So it's just went through without having to pay any extra. I basically flew in with massive suitcases that were empty, but they were full when I came back in. And after these 2 haul videos, I'll do a separate video about the comic book festival itself. Then there might be a rant video. I think, it's possible if I just get to the mood. There's one rant that I'd like to do. And then I would like also to upgrade my Angoulême visiting manual. I already did it kind of last year, but now I want to update it and make it more compact and better, just to serve anyone who's thinking of going there. But just to keep this haul tight and short, let's jump to the comics. And at the same time, you'll see what I did to upgrade my studio, because now I have an angle from like top down, looking down at the comics which are now here on the table. This is something that I've wanted to do for a long time, but I've only learned recently how it's done, software, and also technically what kinds of bits and pieces I need. I use my iPhone as a camera, top-down camera. There's one bad thing about it. I should have an extra light. I should have an extra light for the comics that are on the table. I don't own it. There's one there staring at my face, and there's one light here which should be lighting the background. But now it's kind of lighting the background, my face, and also the table. That is not optimal, but that's the gear I have at the moment. So we'll go with that. Now, let's move to the table. And here we have our new beautiful comic book table. As you can see, my table is quite narrow. The book is bigger than the table. What you see behind is my sofa. The white bit here is the floor. This is the stand where all the cameras and everything is attached to, and this is the corner of my laptop. And here below you can see my legs moving, and you can see that I have my lazy home pants on. But at least I have pants on, so no remarks about that. So, first on the pile, Noir Horizon, Black Horizon. Yeah, it was the cover. I remember this from last year, and I knew that it's going to be one of the books that I'll be taking with me. On the back, it's only basically says that behind the wall is hell. And the wall is that Black Horizon. I'll show you what it means. Here is that wall. It's some kind of gooey stuff. You can see these small dots here are spaceships coming down to planet. And this is some kind of impenetrable wall that everyone's studying on this planet. And the first page already shows you that this is quite brutal. It ends with an execution, and I already like this. I mean, this graphics is up my alley. But what got me hooked was the next pages. So very mysterious military sci-fi. These mercenaries, they come down, they are tied to each other with a rope, and then they have some kind of robot following them. And here they come close to the wall. That is the Black Horizon. They walk to it. The first guy pushes his hand through, steps in. They wait. The rest of the people, they wait. And suddenly the rope goes tight. Bong. And there's a terror in the eye of the next person. He's pulled in. Snap. And the last soldier tries to pull hard so as not to get in. He fights and fights and fights and pulls back, and suddenly the remains of the guy who was just pulled in slurp. It comes out. And when he sees that, the panic sets in. He starts running, but the GUI wall reaches out and pulls him in with the robot and everything. And then we move to this very military sci-fi looking stuff. Very cinematic opening, and this was all that was needed for me. And this will be the way that I go through all this pile. I'll just show you the covers, a bit of the graphics, tell you what it's about. Also about the names. Most of the names on the covers of these comic books are such that I don't know them. These are the type of creators that their work, because they're not translated, we don't hear about them, not even here in Finland, in Europe, just because they're not translated in Finnish or into English. This Noir Horizon, I think this is a trilogy. If it's a good one, I'll have more. Oh, and all of the comics in these piles, they are in French language. You know, the Angoulême Festival has only French language comics available. This is like a modern size European album, and I'll show you what it means. I'll put a US trade paperback on top of it. So this East of West trade paperback, it's a regular size. So there's a big size difference here. And the reason why I call this modern album, well, the French wouldn't know it, but here in Finland, when the album landed here with Asterix and such, we had a lot of albums that were much smaller. They were more like in between these two books. And as the years and decades went by, also the Finnish albums, they've been getting bigger and bigger, and also, they were all soft cover in the beginning, and now we are getting also hard covers. And it seems that about this size is starting to become the standard also in Finland if it's in hardcover. And as you saw, the big size really is good for sci-fi. They can make a really outstanding splash pages and big panels. And the next comic was the first comic that I saw when I came to the festival. It was also the first comic that I bought. I just walked randomly to one booth. I saw it there and bought it right away. I would have bought it without looking inside, but I did look inside before it. But I'll show you the cover. Iron Mud. And let's put this on the examination table too. Now, those who are familiar with Tsutomu Nihei's Blum series, they recognize this style right away. And this is not a coincidence. This is not done by Tsutomu Nihei. This is done by Amaury, let's see, the name is Amaury Bungden. Well, that was actually perfectly pronounced name. He was found in some kind of young talent happening in 2018. And this is his first published work. That's what I understood. But when I saw this cover, I put on brakes immediately. I knew it's probably something that I like. The first page was already like, okay, I'm not wrong. So this is done very much in the style of Tsutomu Nihei, and that's on purpose. This character here wanders through these massive places. This whole book has the same kind of sense of vastness, the eerie loneliness. But he's not actually as long as Killy in Blum, and I'll just show you the scope. Here he activates an elevator at the beginning. And the elevator asks him to step into this circle. And then these sci-fi thingies come up because they have to. Otherwise the lift doesn't start. So the lift starts going up. He removes his helmet, sits down to wait because he has to wait. Then it starts to zoom out. Then it starts to zoom out. This is where he is. And then it zooms out even more. The size is, it's mind-boggling. It's clear that the creator of this album has really studied Nihei's style. I'll show you one more panel here that kind of explains the whole thing. Things like this. And this is one of the books that I already read, Iron Mud, and I liked it. It was also a good story, not just nice art. It was a very different type of story than the Blum, which is also good. So the connecting thing with those comics is just the style. It's a clear nod to Tsutomu Nihei, but not the same thing. Highly enjoyable. And there's something about this book that I wouldn't be surprised if it was translated into English. Just because I know that the Blum was popular, so why not take a chance with this one too? But I couldn't wait. I'm so big fan of Blum. I had to get it. And then I have the 2025 program. I'll talk more about this later, but just to show you that one of the main characters this year was Superman. There was a separate expo for Superman comics. And this is just to show that they are really international. It's US comics, it's Japan, manga. It's not just the Franco-Belgian stuff that get displayed this well. Anything that is meaningful within the comics has a place in Angoulême. They really love comics, and that's why it's so fun place to visit, because you can feel that everywhere. It's just about the appreciation of comics. It doesn't matter where it comes from or what type of genre it is. But now this away and more comics on the table, and one of the surprises, Hurlant is back. I'll show you how it shines, because anytime anything shines, you have to show it. It's content, the shining. But Hurlant being back, they made this 50 anniversary. Well, this is more like a comic book. This is a soft cover. They also had these t-shirts on sale, which I had to get. Let's look at it a lot. It has a pink robot on it with neon green backgrounds. Why not? But the comic book itself, this had actually 2 different covers available, and this is the one I chose. But I talked about this with people on stand. One thing, if you go to Angoulême, it's easy. They all speak English. I actually only found one person who couldn't understand English at all. I talked to the people at the Hurlant booth, and they were showing me how they were bringing back the magazine. And in case you didn't know, Hurlant, this is the magazine that later became Heavy Metal in USA, the translated version. So I talked with Hurlant people at the booth. They spoke better English than me, so it was easy. And they explained me how they are bringing back Hurlant. They published a magazine that had comics from the original Hurlant, the one that came in the 70s. So they got Trulé, Moebius, all those original works handpicked from those magazines, and they did one magazine like that. Then they did another one which only had new and original art. So new artists, new original stories and art. And then they did another one with the old ones, and then again with the new ones. So they've been going back and forth. So whoever is reading the Metal Hurlant is getting every second time the original old stories and then the new ones. Now this one, I'll put this on the table now that I have this. So this 15th anniversary Metal Hurlant has only like a new art. These are not the old. There's 2 optional covers. And the one I chose here is, well, I chose this because this is the first cover of the original Metal Hurlant. There was a creature sitting on top of this stone, but it's clear that now it has slipped away. Here's a list of artists inside 226 pages of bande dessinée. And this is a lot. I mean, this alone, this has so much to read. And not just comics. There is interviews like Talion here, one of the original founders. And there's also interview by, was it it was in this, Ridley Scott. And as you can see, short stories and the style keeps changing by the story. Well, this is the first original cover. If you watch some of my history videos of Franco-Belgian comics, you've seen that. As you can see, so many different styles, so many different stories, lots of science fiction, because that is one of the key features of Metal Hurlant and heavy metal. I'll just flip through many of these pages so you'll see what's inside. Keeps coming, but there's so much. Yeah, here's the Ridley Scott interview. So this was an easy choice for me. So many pages, so many different styles, short stories, meaning that I get to have a taste of so many artists. Then one of the publishers, because I bought quite a lot of comics from their booth, they slipped me this portfolio of arts. I'll pull them out and put them on the table. Yeah, when I was paying my purchases and put them in the back, they gave me this art selection. So this is a pretty neat gift, I think, because at the same time you get these beautiful big panels, which you could basically frame and put on your wall. They just look great like that. But at the same time, they are like an ad for different series. Like here you got the name of, I don't know if this is like a story in one book or a series. It says Chronic, so maybe that would make it a longer story. But then you got the info of the writer, the artist, colorist, and all those. So you could just put them on the wall and enjoy it like that. And because they are so beautiful, you probably will kind of take a look at this info also. I think this is a good marketing from Glenna. Let's look at the rest of them. We got this one, and these are the details. I'll show you all of these because the idea for me is to spread the info of all these comics that are coming out in France. So having just these few gorgeous panels, they kind of do the work. Elric. Here we got some dystopia looking sci-fi. Kaya. Okay. Magma. That means that writing, art, and colors all done by one person. This is more like this way. Showing you the details. And this is Hawk Moon. Again, completely different type of style. And here are the people responsible for it. Some kind of mermaid queen. Le Paris des Dragons. Okay. There's a name I know. Joan Sfar. Beautiful picture. Tellos. And one more. That's a strange. It's like a dinosaur but with human head. Never seen a design like that. But old, abandoned, looks like a spaceship or something. Oh, this is again Tellus. There was another Tellus, but with a different cycle. Interesting. So this is all the art pieces I got. But let's move on. The next one is an unfortunate case. It was something that I was supposed to get, but I didn't. There's a reason for that. It's almost silly, but then again, I was just being cautious. It's about this Tintin fan magazine. They gave me this leaflet for free. And they had a little booth there with lots of their fan magazines. And I asked about them. They said that it was 45 euros per year. And you got 2 of those fan magazines. And they were really well done. They were quite thick. There was a lot of info there. Pictures of the stories and some text. Now, I don't know what the text says. It was all in France, but I was supposed to have at least one of them. I offered him my card and he said, sorry, I don't take card. They only take cash. I was like, oh no, I didn't have any cash at me. Big mistake. You should always have cash in those places. But he said there's a cash machine on the wall, just, 50 meters up there. I said, okay, I'll be back. And I was going to get that money. Then I walked to that cash machine and there was a young boy. He was standing in front of it like this. And he was looking very sad, just staring at me. And I was just staring at him and nothing happened for a while. I thought, is he doing something on the machine or not? And because nothing eventually happened, I had to ask him, like, sorry, are you still doing something? I should get cash. Or he was like, Yeah, go ahead. I said, well, if you have something to do, do it first. Then, I'll draw my cast. And he said, well, this machine just took my card. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm not, and also that I'm not going to put my card in it. So I couldn't get the money, but that was my own mistake. And that fanzine is, well, one more reason to go back, I guess. But yeah, I would have just liked to see, because that club apparently has been running for a long time, and I would just like to see what do they talk about after all these years. I mean, Tintin stopped being published, like the new Tintins, decades ago. So it'd be just fun to see what those diehard fans talk about those volumes today. They had all the issues had like a theme of one album, and then there was some kind of discussion about it. One that got away. Another one that got away. I looked at that comic. I can't remember its name now. I think I should have photos of it. If I have a photo of it, I'll put it somewhere here or even here with my editing skills. But that was a book that for some reason I didn't purchase it on Friday. I thought, okay, I'll take it when I come back on Saturday. Before I leave, I just buy it. I forgot that. It looked like a book that you should read if you like Bone. I'm not saying that it's anything like that. It looked also a bit something that might be towards a bit younger audience. If any one of you who saw those pictures of this book now, please tell me if you know what type of book that is. Did I miss something good or not? I just liked the art. There was something that made me want to read the whole story. The next one is such that it has a name that I think I recognize. It's this, and I'll show you again the shiny parts. I can't get this straight. Here you go. And always show the shiny parts. Let's put it on the table. Again, sci-fi. In fact, most of the books on my piles this time are sci-fi, and that's intentional. I'm an easy prey for sci-fi, and I absolutely love the European realism style. That's what I call, like the first one you saw, the black, with the black gooey wall. There is something that just, I grew up with it, and it's a big part of me. And one of the themes at the festival was also sci-fi. I'll get back to that in my festival report. But here I'll show you, like, this thing isn't just shiny. It has so many different hues. It's like a foil with lots of different blue color fades in it. But the style is already also a bit different. I'll show you. I love just the inner cover is awesome. But as you can see, this is not that realistic. It doesn't. This has the cartoony element on it. By the way, I love this what they do. I don't really see this in other, at least US comics. What they do is they print here what these artists, these creators have done, like also for the other publishers, like competitors. I absolutely love this. This is respect for the creators. This company is showing also their competitors' works that include these creators. I can't tell you how much I love it. But this also makes me, if I like this book, this also makes me want to check out what are these. Here they are listing the books where these two creators are working together, and then there's where they are working with someone else or alone. But very well done. Okay, but back to arts. And This is also some kind of a sci-fi adventure. The main character wants to see the world, the space and its creatures, and then she gets the chance to do just that. And some kind of big adventure start. I don't even know if this is just a story in one part or more. But I like the graphics so much, I had to get it. Moving on, and the next one is something that I already read. This is, I read that Iron Mud, the Chutomo Nihei style comic, and then I just recently read this one. The name means Wars and Dragons, and the name La Bataille d'Angleterre is Battle of Britain. I mean, come on. It has World War II planes on it. We got Messerschmitt Bf-109, we got Hurricane Spitfires and Dragons. Easy sell. I'll show you what's inside. Such an insane idea to have dragons in a World War II, but it worked. I want to know more about this. I'll show you the graphics. Again, something that I include in the European realism category. Big. And as I said, this is as big. This is the modern album size, so the pictures are massive. And I used to build these scale models when I was young, all these planes. And I've been reading and studying a bit about the World War II. I don't know. Can you say that you're a fan of a war? It's just something that interests me. Dragons, they are something that I would put, it's a hit or miss thing. If you do the dragons correctly, then they're interesting, at least for me. It's kind of a cliche, a dragon in a fantasy story, but it's not a cliche in a World War II story. This is the first one where I see them combined. But what I mean about dragons, I like to have that there is some kind of mystery left about them. They are very, magical old beings, and if the writer can handle that kind of character correctly, it adds a lot to the story about a depth. It's like a mystery that is not completely explained. That's what dragons are, at least for me. And here we got, I'll show you some pages. In this story, the dragons are somehow tied to some humans. And apparently it is the dragon that decides the human. There is a connection. And it's not explained how and why dragons choose, if they choose, a person to be connected with them. And that type of things I like. Not everything has to be explained. I'll show you a bit more the good stuff. And here, of course, the Nazis has their own dragons. And they all look evil. And here they are fighting. This was good stuff. And here you can see that this was part 1. It says season 1. So this must be the first story arc. I don't know if there is more. I think I only saw these at the festival. But I only took one. It's like a, sample, tested. The next one is a book that caught my eye from far away. Just showing you how when you do a good cover, it sells. This is a super simple cover, but it's so well done that out of those hundreds or thousands of comics, I saw this far away. And this is the cover. It's a bit shiny there. Let's put it on the table so we see it better. I'm already loving this table. Tell me what you think about this setup. I don't know. For me, this is already such a big level up that I'm just excited about this. Nerf. This is 9, the number 9. I think this is available in English, but in digital. And since I don't read digital, or I don't want to read digital, I went for this. And again, names that I don't recognize. Most of the names in these comics are such that I haven't heard about them. And it will be one part of my journey with these comics too. When I read the comic, I also see what else these creators have done, and it will open again a completely new world for me. Something that has always been behind that French language wall. And here in the back, they just explain that someone is looking for his father. And I would guess that the 9 means the age of this boy. That's just my guess. And if you look, let's look inside the art. The art and everything, I just fiddled through this, and it made me think of that book and also the movie made from it, where that character is left alone accidentally on Mars. I don't remember the name of the book. I did read the book. I also watched the movie. The book was better, the old cliche. The book was much better, but still, this has something that reminds me of that. Then here and there are these numbers when I move forward. I don't know what they mean either, but I guess it's something that is explained later. If I would had to guess, it would be, could it be the age of the boy we see on the cover? I don't know, but I like already what I see. I have to be a bit careful because these are French comics, meaning that here and there could be occasional and sudden terrible female nipples, and YouTube doesn't like that. And next I have a surprise because it's sci-fi. Yay, more sci-fi. And I'll put this on the table right away. Renaissance. And this is also a longer series. I just made sure that I got the number 1 of the first cycle. There's one first cycle and the second cycle, and I got the first part. This is also like a sample of that, so I know if I should continue. This has a very bright art. The colors are very bright and deeper. Very different tint on the color. That's what I love about sci-fi also, that there's so much possibilities with the design. It really is just how good your imagination is. Like I saw one good picture with this big vessel. I'll try to find it for you. Oh, here it is. This is the panel of the page, splash page I was looking for. I like the idea of what they do with these, how these parts of the ship detach and build something else new. And it's clear that we got really strange looking aliens here and there, almost psychedelic looking at some point. Not really know what this is about, but you know, that's why we read these. The next 2 are such that I'll just kind of show you that, yeah, I got them. More Sillage. And, well, I'll put them on the table anyway. Let's enjoy the table. So I got 2 volumes that I don't have yet. I got the 22nd volume in German. I know this one is coming out in German at some point, but the French versions are already at the volume 24. But what has changed here is that there's only Philippe Bouquet, the artist, is doing that. This change already happened in the volume 22. Morvan, who used to write the story, he's not involved anymore. I tried to find something, some kind of text or interview explaining what has happened. So if anyone knows why Morwen is not included in this anymore, please tell me. I didn't find any article yet explaining what happened. Is it just that Morwen doesn't want to do this again, or is it something personal? I'd like to know. Also, one thing I need to see, now that I have the previous one, I got these two ones. I need to see if the stories the level stays good. You know, when the writer is gone, not always, it doesn't always end well, that just the artist continues. Asterix, anyone? Yeah, this is more like a Western themed. This is what I like about Sillage. Every album can be anything. Like here we got Waterworld, here we got Western. It's just that the way the whole series is built, that any album can have any kind of world and theme on it, and it still can work. And it's still the same person, it's the same story. And then if you guess that the next album is sci-fi, you don't win a big prize. There isn't one. This cover had a little bit of manga feel on it. Some of the panels too, I'll show you. Talion. I think this is, it says here, Opus 1 of 3. Yeah, I thought that this was a trilogy also. And these panels don't exactly bring any manga to my mind, but as you see, the whole panel layout, the way it's spread, and also it's almost like not two-tone, but the colors are brought down. It's more flat. There's less amount of colors here. There's a little bit long text here. This is something that I'm a bit afraid with the Google Lens. It does work. I know it translates this, but I did try to pick these books so that they don't have any long text parts in them, just to make it more fun to read it with Google Lens. Like the page here, this is something that feels a bit like manga, this whole bicycle. I think the way the whole panel is set up and the camera angle, it gives that vibe. But there isn't too much of that. I'm not that I'm against it. That's not it. I'm just saying that it feels like just one of those. It feels like it's just one of the, maybe one of the things that has influenced these artists. Okay, but I don't want to see too much, as I haven't really read this yet. And the last one is not just one book, but it's actually a complete cycle, like a trilogy in one box. I was supposed to take just the volume 1, but my hand touched this, so I had to buy it. That's how it works, right? Inside here, there is poster, but the funny thing is also that I can't show it to you because behind here, as you see, this lady doesn't have a shirt on. Yes, she has guns, but there's even more worse things she has. Nipples, and they're showing, so I can't show it to you. But at the same time, it's kind of a funny choice for a poster. Maybe I just don't know how important this character is for the series. Maybe I'll understand her being there shirtless, how it's important. But without reading this, I wouldn't just go and frame it and put it on the wall. Don't get it. But maybe I will. Maybe this will be the best poster in the world once I read the series. Now, the UCC Dolores. This feels like just the text here already feels like this is a shameless, basic adventure action. Just entertainment. And there was also a second cycle available, at least parts 4 and 5. I don't remember if there was 6 or even more. I have a feeling I've seen this in English somewhere. And I think it might have been in digital, at least some parts of it. But I'll show you the covers here and go quickly through the some of the pages so you see what's inside and if it matches the covers. Here we have volume 1. And this is the art style. I love this art style so much. This was actually the true reason why I took the 3 instead of 1. I kind of decided that I'm going to read this further anyway, just to see how it goes. I'll show you the other albums. Here this is volume 2, and as you can see, a group of people. It's almost like a movie poster. And here, I think this says, if I'm correct with my friends, this says that this is the same artist as in Landfoist, the Troy. Another series that has not been translated to English or in Finnish. Long running series that I would like to read. And I'll be showing you these. There's something that reminds me of Loisel, Regis Loisel, about some of the panels. Not all of them, but some things remind me of him. Okay, and then we go to the third one, like this. Now, if you look at the cover like this, it just says, they're pointing guns at every direction. So clearly it's just, fun gun adventures, shooting, magic, or, someone with gleaming eyes, good, bad, I don't know who he is or it. Okay, here it says this is Cycle de Crystal Rouge. That is the cycle of red crystal, if I'm not incorrect. And then it says coming. But I'm pretty sure that already at the festival they had more than one from the next cycle. Okay, I have to be careful because there is nudity in this album also. Absolutely. This is super fun. Just fun sci-fi. Big things, robot things, laser things, shooting things. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this one. And that was it. That was the first half of my Angoulême 2025 comic haul. And I'm not going to drag this any longer. Just let you know that there is a second part coming where I go through them. And as I mentioned that I'll do the talking bit, like going deeper into the where's and whys of the festival, but maybe also about these books. I'll do that in the later videos. Now I just want to show you the comics and also activate myself again, because I've been silent for a while, but it's because of that festival trip and this update I did to my studio, which now that I've done this one, I'm really happy about. Let me know if there was something wrong about this to your eye, so I know, because sometimes I'm too close to notice that. And yeah, the lighting thing is, I know that already, that I have to get an extra light here, but that's the way we move forward. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.